Good morning, everybody. It's 6 o'clock, and this is our March edition of the VIP meeting. So welcome. Thank you so much for watching this and for participating in our gold level subscription. You have all received your email with the April, yes, the April, can't believe how quickly this year is going, the April list of toolkits. And today I wanted to dive a little bit deeper in one of the toolkits. So I am going to share my presentation that I prepared for you. So let's have a look. Our March forum, our VIP meeting. Before we go into the presentation, just a reminder that on theartofservice.org, I have created for you a section with the high demand vault, and there's also a section where you can request your toolkits. So feel free to request toolkits, subjects that are really good for you, subjects that you need in your job, that you need for your clients. That's why you have your gold level subscription, that you have access to these toolkit requests. So make sure you utilize that service. I mean, you pay for it, so you might as well use it. The high demand vault, that is the best-selling list from 2018. So, and I will also put all the recordings of our VIP meetings in that same section on theartofservice.org. So as you can see, it's courses and then the gold member. So it's the gold member area in the Art of Service courses section. As a reminder, our mission and the story behind the toolkits. The self-assessment toolkits came about because as the Art of Service, what we want to do is help you, empower you as professionals to unleash your potential. So it's really important to us that we can help you in your careers, that we can help you unleash the potential that you have, and to help you with resources, to help you with education. And we identified that looking back over the years that we were doing our own consultancy jobs, the best consultancy assignments that we had, the most worthwhile, the most valuable ones were the ones where we came in with questions. And even to this day, if we talk to clients, if we talk to customers, people that want to grow their business, I get in there and ask questions. So it's question-based consultancy. The biggest benefit, I think, from using question-based consultancy is the fact that it is timeless. It doesn't matter what happens in the organization. It doesn't happen what happens in the industry. Because you come in with questions, it's always valid. The questions are always there to make the other person think and make the other person really identify what's going on in their organization. And that's why we created the self-assessment toolkit. So it is a self-assessment, but you can use it as is in an organization, but you can also take the questions and use the questions, almost cherry pick them to what is necessary and what is available for you and for your customer, what is needed at that particular point in time. So don't feel that you have to do all the questions sequential. Just pick the questions that you need, pick the questions that are valuable at that particular point in time. And I'm not alone in that. Last week, I'm on a mailing. I mean, we're all on mailing lists, aren't we? And last week, I was on. I received a mailing from Robert Glazer. He runs a consulting firm in the US, and it was all about questions-based consultancy. And he said, and this is his quote: "Questions, especially those challenging the status quo, should always be welcome within an organization. They are also something that should be asked to clients and partners. Understanding the why behind a request or motivation will often shed light on what someone is really needing or looking to accomplish." And that is exactly the reason behind our self-assessment toolkits. So I was really happy to see that questions are important. We all know the answers. We all think we know the answers, but it's all about the questions. I am going to, let me see, I'm just going to stop my share for a moment, because I just want to see who joined us, because a couple of people have joined us. Good morning. I have added you to the session now, so hopefully if you can let me know in the chat that you can actually see me, then that will be really good, so I can continue with the share. So I'll continue with sharing the presentation. So as I said before, it's all about questions-based consultancy, and it's all about asking the right questions. So it's about asking the why question. Why are you doing certain things? Because you'll find in your own organization or in your clients' organizations, you'll find that when you ask the why question, often people say, oh, that's just the way we do things. Often people will say, oh, we've been doing it like this forever. So don't take that as an answer. Make sure that they really think about the reasons why they're doing the things they're doing. And the other, oh, that picture didn't come out really nicely, so my apologies for that. The other thing that I noticed earlier this week, I went to a factory tour with one of our clients, and they procured one of their competitors. And basically what he was saying is that the product that they're creating is a lot more expensive than any of the competitors in their market. But even though they were thinking about adding a lot of bells and whistles to it, they could do wireless connectivity, they could do battery powered rather than electrically powered. They were looking at all these bells and whistles to add to the product. They decided not to do it because the most simple product that they had the longest lifespan, had the longest product life cycle. So even though their product was a lot more expensive than that one from all of their competitors, if you calculated it back to the price per year of usage, it was actually a lot cheaper. So they could extend the product life cycle by not using a lot of bells and whistles and technology in their product. And I thought that is exactly the reason why questions are so important in the self-assessment toolkits, because the questions, they are timeless. The questions won't change. They're no bells and whistles. They're not, things change all the time. Technology changes faster than ever before, but the questions, they stay the same. So you can utilize these products in the next few months or the next few years. Having said that though, there are a couple of toolkits that we have updated into a 2019 edition. So as you can see, these are the toolkits that you've received this month, and I hope that you all received them. So if you didn't, then send me an email and I'll resend you the list. But these are the toolkits that you should have received: Agile Project Management, Business Process Reengineering, Change Management, Contingency Planning, Cybersecurity Incident Response, Data Lake Strategies, DevSecOps, Edge Computing, ETOM, IT Governance, IT Process Engineering, Knowledge Management, Operational Excellence, Risk Analytics, and Software Metrics. The ones in bold are the ones that were requested. So the ones in bold are the ones that were requested by you, by customers, by gold members. So as I said at the start of today's meeting, make sure you request your topics. Make sure you add your topics to the pool, because every month we draw 4 topics out of all the requests, and we add them to the list. So that is not just something we say, that is actually something we do. So make sure that you put your requests in. And it may not be next month, it could be in 2 months or 3 months time that your request will be added to the list. But every month we draw 4 topics from the list. And this is what I meant with the 2019 edition. So Data Lake Strategies For those of you who've paid attention in the high demand vault and what's in the store available as the toolkits, you could have seen or would have seen that data lake strategies was also for sale in 2017 and 2018. We've updated the edition to a 2019 edition. And the reason for that is that the questions that you can ask about data lake strategies, they have changed. So we've added a lot more specific topic-based questions. So rather than reverting to more generic questions, we've added a lot more 2019 specific questions. So that's why for data lake strategies, because it is becoming more and more utilized in large organizations that do a lot of data analysis and big data management. So the data lake strategies, and especially now that Amazon, that's why I put this one up as well, especially now that Amazon has jumped on data lake strategy services. A lot more larger organizations are using it. So you can just pull it out of your toolbox and ask the questions about data lake strategies based on the 2019 edition. So sometimes you will see that subjects will come back, and the reason that subjects do come back is because we find that there is a need for a 2019 or a 2020 edition or a 2021 edition. So keep your eye out for that. And so don't feel that if there's a topic that you've seen before, that you sort of go like, oh, hang on, that's a duplicate. No, it's an updated version. The other thing that we've updated in the data lake strategies toolkit is the checklist. So you'll see that in the checklist for data lake strategies, there are now questions specifically around customer, specifically around data, and specifically around organization. So if you are in a position to have a discussion with your customers about data lake strategies, and you only want to talk about data, pull out that checklist, pull out the data checklist and take that to the meeting. Pull out that checklist and use that as discussion starters. So that will really help you to have something available really quickly. And some of the questions that have been added to data lake strategies, and as you know, because you've been going through these toolkits for a couple of months now, all the questions are organized in an increased level of organizational maturity. So it started recognize, then define, measure, analyze, improve, control, and sustain. So some of the new questions are, what situations led to this data lake strategy self-assessment in the recognizing if data lake strategies is something that is of value to your organization. Then in the define area, what would be the goal or the target for a data lake strategies improvement team? Because that links back into improve and sustain later on down the track. Measuring, what do you hope to accomplish by analyzing all this newly accessible data? But then in the analyze bit, is the data reliable and why are you collecting all this data? See how that why question comes back in here? Why are we doing the things we do? Because that's the analysis part. And then in improve, describe the design of the pilot and what tests were conducted, if any, and were any criteria developed to assist the team in testing and evaluating potential solutions. So that's part of the improvement maturity of an organization. And then the control. So this is all about controlling the processes, controlling the input in the process, controlling the activities of the processes, and controlling the output, and also in controlling the quality assessment and quality of the processes. So thanks to the evolution of the Internet of Things, machine learning is advancing at a rapid pace. Machines are getting smarter and collecting data themselves, which poses the question, who will manage the data? So that will also flow into your security and your privacy type of business processes. And then are there any best practices or standards for the use of big data solutions in place? And then sustain. So now that we have a level of control, what are your strategies to sustain that level of control? So what are your strategies for capacity planning for big data processing and cloud computing? And, which I think is one of the best questions, is the cost worth the data lake strategies effort? So these are type of questions that we've added to the data lake strategies toolkit to, again, start the conversation, make you think, and really identify, do we have a defined answer to this question? So it's not just thinking about the answer, it's also thinking about, in my belief, in my organization, in my customer's organization, do we have a defined answer? And that's the start of the conversation with your customers. So that's really what I wanted to discuss with you. Just wanted to ask if you guys had any questions, if there is any, if there's anything that you're struggling with the toolkits, with using the toolkits, if there's any questions about the subjects that you're currently utilizing. Yeah, the floor is yours, basically. What do you think? What's... No questions? Oh, that's easy. I did have a question via email, so that helped. That somebody was asking, hang on, let me just, so somebody was asking that the toolkits, because there's new subjects every month, if they could have access to toolkits from previous months. Unfortunately, no. So basically what I would like to recommend is, as soon as you get the email from me with the new toolkits, with this month's list of toolkits, download them on your own hard drive. So download the toolkits on your own machine, so you have access to the material at any given point in time. Because the moment we send out the new email list, the old list is deleted, so you don't have access to the previous month anymore. So make sure that you download it so you have access to it at any given point in time, and you don't miss out on the topics. Like, for instance, last month mobile security was a very popular one, because a lot of people ask questions about mobile security. There's no mobile security in this month's list. So last month it was mobile security. This month it's something else. So make sure that as soon as you get the information, you download it. Also, feel free to send me emails during the month. Ask me questions. We're here to help you. If you have any confusion about the toolkits, any confusion about certain questions, like for instance, I was going through the data lake strategies yesterday, and I noticed that in one of the sections, all the questions were very short, and I went like, that looks a bit weird. But when I went through the questions, I actually went like, no, these are actually really good, concise, poignant questions. So you don't need to have a lot of fluff. It just needs to know about, how do you manage the data? What do you do with the data? Why do you collect the data? I mean, you don't have to add words if it doesn't add value. So you know, that it could be a simple question like that. So that's something that I popped up, well, something that I came up with yesterday. So so yeah, so if there's no other questions from the floor, I'd like to say goodbye, and email me during the month. Let me know how you go with the toolkits. Let me know how you go with your customers with utilizing the questions. If you get any pushback, if you get any feedback, we're in it together. So any feedback we get from you will help us to improve the self-assessment toolkits. Because remember, we are here to empower you. That's what we do. It's all about making sure that you can be the best at your job and with your customers and in your career. So with that, over and out. I will talk to you next month. Have a lovely day and a lovely weekend. Bye for now.